So one of the biggest DJs in the world is in studio with us today. David Guetta is here. Welcome to Energy.
Thank you very much. It feels like I'm home.
Yeah, because of Energy
We have
France.
Energy in Paris too. Yeah, in France actually. It's funny.
How are you, David?
I'm very good. I'm happy to be here.
We're going to talk about your upcoming album, One Love, with tons and tons of brand new great tracks. It will be released on the 24th of August.
Yes.
I had the chance to take a sneak peek online via stream. You're not only doing collaborations with Chris Willis, of course, who's the voice of Love Is Gone, for example. Yeah, but also with a lot of other musicians. Most of them are recognized as R&B and hip hop artists, and not very familiar with the electronic music. Who is it you're working with on the upcoming album?
Well, my first single was When Love Takes Over with Kelly Rowland. I think you're playing that single. Thank you very much for the support. And it was my first experience working with an urban artist. And it's been extremely interesting. And at the same time, I had a phone call from will.i.am that was proposing me to produce some tracks for the Black Eyed Peas album. So I produced some tracks for them, including the next single coming up that is called I Got a Feeling. And that was like kind of the beginning of that new experience. And it's been very, very exciting to discover a different world for me, but also for them, and try to, get the best of both worlds to create new music. And both of them, like will.i.am on one side and Kelly Rowland, they've been really, really incredible supporters. They were so happy of the experience in the studio. They gave me like the best publicity. And then in all a second, I started to have the whole urban scene from America calling me, asking me to produce tracks. And every time my answer was the same. It was like, I'll produce tracks for me, but you got a feature on my album. So this is how I get on that album this crazy list of featuring artists. So we have like Akon, Neo, Kid Cudi, Estelle, will.i.am, Kelly Rowland, of course, and also some new artists that you probably don't know yet, but I have like some really, really exciting people on the album. And what is even more exciting is that we're making together the music of tomorrow, new music, something, of course, it comes from that DJ background, it's electronic music, but at the same time, it's those incredible singing and melodies that with some of the best artists in the world.
Mm-hmm. So was it easy to work with all the guys, or?
It was very easy. It was very easy because they're so good, So they were. What was good is that they were very excited to be with me because I do something totally different from what they used to, and it's fun for them. And for me, it was the same. I was like, wow, because I have to admit, when it comes to singing, they're really the best people on the planet. So, yes, it was a lot of fun. It was really exciting. Honestly, like the most exciting thing is that idea that we're doing something new. And I think it's happening slowly. That big wave, you can see, when there's a huge wave, you see a little bit of it from far away. And you see people like Timbaland, people like Kanye West that have been very inspired by the sound of European, electronic music. And if you see Rihanna that is using the kick like 4 on the floor, there's just being a little bit shy. And I was like, listen, guys, you love it. Let's do it for real. And because it's my album, they have the guts to do it. And honestly, like, I respect a lot the Black Eyed Peas for what they've done, because they're taking a lot of risk to go. They go for real. They came to my parties in Ibiza when I was playing. They really embraced the culture, and they really love this electronic culture, and I'm very happy that they're so successful with the first single, and I think the next one that we've done together, I Got a Feeling, is also huge. So listen, it's a new world, and we need some new music.
How did you find the time to produce all these new tracks to connect with these artists? I mean, you still travel around the world, Ibiza and lots of different places to play live. So when did you have the time to do this?
Actually, all of this has been happening in the last 4 months, and I took 3 full months off without DJing, because otherwise it would have been impossible. And I mean, it's crazy, but all those featuring were recorded within 3 months. Mm-hmm. But as I said, I mean, those people are genius. So, like, working with Neo, this guy can write 2 songs in 30 minutes. Honestly, like, I've never seen anything like this. The story with Neo is, you haven't heard the song because it's not yet on the album. I haven't finished to produce it. But the story with him, we just recorded When Love Takes Over, and Kelly was so happy. We together with Usher and Neo, and I was like the only little white guy, and they're looking at me just all with all their friends, and they're looking at me like, "Who's this guy?" You know? And Kelly's like, "This is my friend David. He's a killer producer. You have no idea what he does." And so she's being like my publicist basically, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, we want to come to the studio." So Neo comes first, and he listens to When Love Takes Over, and he's like, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful. I love it. It makes me shiver from my head to toes. Do you have another beat, David?" And it was like the very beginning of of my moments, you know, like for producing, and like on the way to Paris, coming from a gig, like you said, because I travel so much in the world to DJ, I started a track on my laptop on the plane. And I mean, this is how incredible life is. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't really have a song, but I have that beat that I started. I don't know, I'm going to play it to you. It's not finished. So I play it from my laptop. It's not even, we call it bounced, you know, when it's finished, the track. So it's still like a studio session. And he's like, "I love it. Let it roll." By the time the track is 8 minutes long, by the time the track is finished, it's like, "I'm ready. Put on the mic." I'm like, "What? Are you joking?" The guy wrote a full song in 8 minutes. This is the kind. So you're asking me how it is possible? So that's how it's possible. You know, that is those kinds of artists. They just, you know, and then I went to Los Angeles. I've been working with will.i.am a lot. It was amazing because we were having so much fun. We were like, okay, we don't even know what we're doing. That was very crazy because we were like, we don't even know what we're doing this for. Doesn't matter. Let's just have fun and make songs. And he was in the middle of his album. It was really late. And I was in the middle of my album. I was really late. And we were just having fun. So we made tracks that are going to his album, I mean, to the Black Eyed Peas album, and some tracks are going to my album, and some tracks, we just keep it for one day, you know. But we just made music, you know. And I was saying that story before, and it's pretty incredible because I'm really, I'm a DJ before anything. I've learned how to make music by ears, by experience, and I'm making tracks most of the time with my laptop or, you know, in little studios, home studios. And my first day in a real studio is with the Black Eyed Peas. So will.i.am calls me, asks me to come to Los Angeles. And the track that is called I Got a Feeling, that is going to be played on your air, I'm sure, very soon. I sent it to him. We work via internet, but when it comes to mixing, I need to be in the studio. So I'm going there, first experience, huge mixing board, expensive studio. You know, I'm like really impressed. First day with the Black Eyed Peas in the studio, I'm like shaking and everything, you know. I'm all nervous. And I'm like, wow, this is the real thing, the real producer life, you know. And it's in Los Angeles, a studio that is very famous. So knock the door. I was already super nervous. Comes in Puff Daddy with Busta Rhyme. So I have the Black Eyed Peas, Puff Daddy, Busta Rhyme, and they're hanging out with the manager of 50 Cent that heard about me and wants to see me work. And one of the bosses of Interscope, like the biggest label in America, that, you know, maybe, you know, is I got a feeling is his favorite track on the album, and he wants to see me at work. So I'm like totally under that huge amount of pressure. I'm like shaking. It's horrible. I don't want to look stupid by doing something wrong, and all those geniuses in front of me. And and then I'm going out, opening the door, and I see Pharrell Williams that is bumping into me with the Neptunes, carrying some studio gears, you know, like this the Asian guy with this synth, and Pharrell Williams, like, is the guy that I admired the most. I'm like, my brain just bugged that day. I'm like, my first day in the studio, I'm seeing all those guys. But that's kind of, you were saying, like, how is this possible that I have so many amazing featuring artists? Because actually they all know each other. So when you do good with one, it just goes really fast.
Everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants to be on the album when Kelly Rowland does it.
It's also the American thing. When they feel a hype, they want to be part of it, you know? So I think it happened like this. And then there was some other things, like with Kid Cudi, for example. I love his track, like The Day and Night. It's really amazing. And I was, again, on the way to Los Angeles to shoot the video for the Black Eyed Peas, and as usual, making music. You know, I don't really watch TV or stuff like this, so I'm always with my headphones. I'm working on a track on my laptop, and when I arrive on the shooting, I have a scene in the video with Kid Cudi, and I was like, "Oh my God, I love you, man! I love you." Oh, I want to play you something. So when the camera is off for like 5 minutes, I have my laptop with him. The track isn't even not finished. I give him the headphones, like, man, this is really cool. Meet you tomorrow at 3 o'clock at the studio. We're recording. So, you know, it's like, I just believe in life and in my good star. So
there's still more to come, I think. I mean, the next album must be no problem. Anymore.
Well, I don't really think about this yet.
But you have to have tons of songs you didn't put on the next.
You know
album.
how many songs I have right now? I have 46 songs, and you know it's been very, very hard for me to choose 16 out of it. Very hard.
But you did.
But I had to. I wanted to do a double album, but my record company said it was a bad idea.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? Record company?
Some marketing stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
So, you know, it's like now I have to choose the second single already. My first single was just out now. You know, it's crazy. It's very hard. I would like to put 4 singles at the same time, but they said it's a bad idea again.
I watched the little YouTube video from Winter Music Conference, where you performed with Kelly Rowland and will.i.am, and you mentioned that
and
you
Chris
were pretty
Willis too,
and you were pretty close with will.i.am. You mentioned it before, and you can see the fun between you and the guys in the audience goes totally crazy. Was it the first time that you played the new tracks in front of the audience?
Yes.
Great.
Did you see, because there was 2 gigs in Miami. There was like one with 25,000 people and one in a club that was more...
I think I saw the open air thing.
Yeah, that's like...
With the big stage.
That was huge, huge.
Man.
Yeah.
So what did you think, or don't you even think when you go on stage in front of?
Well, imagine I'm playing just after Black Eyed Peas. They have a #1 in America. There's 7 people jumping around on stage. They've been doing this all their life, and it's me and my 3 CDs on my own. So imagine, what do I feel? Scared. Scared.
But what is the difference between the big or what do you prefer like more, the club thing or the open air thing, or is it completely different? So
it's totally different, and I love both, and I need both. The big show on stage with thousands of people is a great ego trip. You know, it's fantastic. The energy is unbelievable. It's like people are going nuts, and it's great. But it's like driving a big boat or driving a big radio like NRJ. You cannot take too many risks.
Yeah.
So what is good in a little club is that you have eye contact. You can be a little more experimental. So for me, I always need a balance between those big shows where I play my big records, and, you know, it's like this crazy energy, and the more, let's say, maybe more exciting in an artistic direction point of view, with little gigs.
So you're at the little gigs, you're more free to experiment.
Trying things. And actually what I usually do, I try things in the little gigs, and when it works, I put it in the big gigs.
Mm-hmm. The Ibiza season 2009 just started, I think, last weekend, or...
Yeah, the opening of Space was last weekend, and now it's going to be the opening of Pasha. I'm going there tomorrow.
Okay, that's the reason why you... Okay. But what do you think? What will be the sound of this Ibiza season, of the clubs this season? Is it more disco? Is it more electro? Is it more deep? Or is it hard to say before it starts?
There's a big return to house music. Techno has been... German techno was the thing, really, like the 2 last years. And I think it's coming back big time to house music now. I think When Love Takes Over is going to be huge there. And actually, I have another track that is going to be, I think, pretty big, that I've done with some fellow DJ producers that are pretty big there also. Okay.
How do you stay fit, in shape, and always good looking and smiling when you travel around the world and work your ass off? How do you have a secret?
Yeah, I have fun.
Huh?
I have fun. That's
you have fun.
Secret.
That's the only secret?
Yeah, that's the only secret. You know, if you do something that you love, you do it with passion, there's no limit, really, you know? It's like, you know, some people, I don't know, they love playing football, or they love cinema. Or let's say somebody that is passionate about cinema, you can tell him, okay, you can go all day watch, you know, great movies, and you're getting paid, you know? So for me, it's the same. I'm like, wow, really? You want to give me money for this? I'm just having fun.
Okay. Once again, we're very happy to have you here in Berlin. What are you doing during your stay here, and how long will you stay here in Berlin? I think not that long, right?
That's the thing with my life. That's the only thing, is that I'm here for one day. I don't have time to visit. I don't have much of a life, really.
Yeah, that's pretty sad, but fun.
No,
on the other side.
You know, I mean, my life is really. I have a family, I have a wife, and I have two very young children. But I don't see them a lot. But when we're together, it's great. And I live a lot for my job, you know, because it's my passion, because it's a very difficult job when it comes to get success. There's not many people that have the chance to make it. It took me a long time. So now that it's happening, I want to enjoy 100%, you know?
Cool. I just wanted to ask you, when's your next gig planned here in Germany, but I don't think you have it in
I don't have it in mind. I know that I'm going to play in Cologne.
Yeah, okay.
Because I have a friend.
It's pretty far away from Berlin. I'm pretty sad.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, but it was fun having you here. Nice meeting you in person. Very much. Thank you very much for coming. And good luck and success with all the music stuff, with your album and the Black Eyed Peas.
My album!
Yeah. Okay, hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.